the bigger stories, in my personal opinion, is Kyler Murray's contract. Kyler Murray recently just signed a contract with the Arizona Cardinals, a contract that is well deserved, obviously, in my opinion, because Kyler Murray has been a great player for the Arizona Cardinals as well. He's just been a great player throughout his career. Won a Heisman, #1 overall pick, even got selected into the MLB draft by the Oakland Athletics. So I think Kyler Murray is going to be a great player for the Arizona Cardinals. They're building around him. They're retooling the franchise around him. So he'll do a great job for them. But the thing that is crazy about it is there's this independent study clause. The independent study clause within Kyler Murray's contract is strictly for him to watch film for 4 hours a week, which is quite a minimal amount of film to be watching as a NFL quarterback, especially a starting NFL quarterback, and especially somebody like Kyler Murray, who is a top 10 quarterback in my personal opinion. Kyler Murray should be a guy who's in there, you watch 4 hours of film probably in the morning. Myself as a Division III soccer player, I'm taking college classes, I'm going to my games, 2 games a week, 5-6 days of practice. I'm sitting down, I'm watching probably 7 to 8 hours of film myself on 2 different opponents. And if you're Kyler Murray in the NFL as a quarterback, you got to be watching a ton of film all the time. But you got to have that iPad running nonstop no matter what you're doing to make sure you're up to date on what the opponent is doing. And the scary part is the Cardinals will always have these very hot starts in their seasons. And then coming down to those final weeks, Kyler Murray's play and the Cardinals' play just kind of slides and goes off the hill, goes down a slope. It's just very drastic fall off. And you wonder, is that because defenses from other teams are catching up and realize, okay, this is what the Cardinals do, and Kyler Murray and the offense of the Arizona Cardinals is falling behind because Kyler's not watching enough film to understand what these defenses are throwing at him. And there was recently a New York Times article published a couple of years ago where Kyler Murray just went on talking about how, I don't really need to watch film. I just have this natural ability from seeing it once, seeing it twice, and, I can beat it. But that's not the case in the NFL. These defensive coordinators are sitting there and they're scheming up 15, 20, 30 hours a week, and then every day in practice, adjusting the scheme, changing it all the way up until Sunday. So if other teams are putting in more time and more hours to figure out you and stop you, and you're not doing the same to figure out a way to beat them, it gets kind of dangerous at that point because Kyler Murray is then pulling back some of his teammates as well. The Arizona Cardinals recently put out a memo saying, like, hey, we're sorry for doing this. It's not what we actually meant it to be. But my thing is, the Arizona Cardinals front office wrote it into the contract for a reason. It's not a joke. You don't throw something in there like that for no reason. It's one of the first NFL contracts to have something like that written into it. Granted, there have been some crazy contracts out there before, but a contract to say, hey, my starting quarterback, I'm getting hundreds of millions of dollars, making one of the highest paid players at the position and in the league in general, I need you to watch 4 hours of film on your own, is pretty minuscule. It's pretty ridiculous that that's even happening. And you wrote it in for a reason. You don't write that in there for no reason. You write that in there for fluff? No. You write that in there because you don't think Kyler's watching film. And my thing is, Kyler Murray's agent, Kyler Murray's team, and himself, they've looked over that contract. Or if Kyler Murray himself didn't look over it, obviously his agent and his team did, and then they came back to him with information. So the thing there is, Kyler Murray, you walked into the front office, you signed that piece of paper. Why are you throwing a fit about it? You could have said something in the discussions, in the negotiations, saying, I don't want this in there because it makes me look bad for some reason, or so on and so forth. As well, Kyler Murray's team could have handled it a completely different way. They could just be like, yeah, the Cardinals just want to put that in there to make sure I'm doing my stuff, doing my film. I'm already watching, 4 to 6 hours of film on the first day. Or I'm watching so many hours of film already. It's just kind of there to appease everybody. It was something that they wanted, and I just wanted to move on and get my money. Comes out like that, completely different story. It makes you feel so much better about what is actually happening within the Cardinals organization, as well as Kyler Murray as this face of the franchise quarterback, as well as a top 10 quarterback, and now one of the highest paid players within the league, and especially in the NFL at quarterback.